Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest in the Phase 3 Meets series. We did promise in the last couple of videos that our focus, certainly for the first quarter this year, is going to be on some very, on a smaller, kind of more innovative startup organizations. And with that in mind, I'm delighted to be joined by Simon Bocca, who is the founder of PayCaptain, a very innovative payroll solution which brings together payroll, banking capabilities, and financial wellness. Simon, how are you?
Hi, I'm very well. Thanks, Asad, for having me.
No, absolutely. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. So why don't we start by you giving everyone an overview of what PayCaptain is, what it does, and that's normally a good starting point.
Sure. Well, just rewinding a little bit. So before I started PayCaptain, which was in January 2020, I was COO of a business called Fourth. We were an HR payroll technology looking after about 400,000 employees across the UK from a payroll processing perspective and scheduling and HR. And when I left Fourth, I wanted to really start with a blank sheet of paper to really think about payroll from the user experience perspective, and ultimately wanting to build PayCaptain on the latest and greatest technology, incorporating all of the best technology out there, including some artificial intelligence to help drive payroll accuracy, embracing faster payments and e-money accounts to enable more flexibility in the way people get paid. Incorporating financial well-being as part of the payroll process, and really to drive a full-on great experience about getting paid on the basis that, you know, having a job and being paid for it is actually one of life's most important things. I always felt that process of receiving your hard-earned money from your company could be and should be a lot better. You know, so often sort of money gets, shoved into a bank account in the middle of the night and a pay slip produced that nobody looks at, or if they do look at it, they struggle to understand it. And employees not having any flexibility or any control about this really important thing about getting paid. So that's why I started PayCaptain, is to really transform that whole process of getting paid and make it sort of much more fit for the way people live their lives today. Okay,
thank you, Rowan. So that was your motivation, really, the payroll experience, because it is, or it has been, quite a bland experience up until recent times. Like you say, you only ever look at your payslip, to see how much money you've not earned, or when you need a mortgage or a loan or something essential like that. So was that really your motivation, the kind of experience around that?
Well, yes, it was, but also the whole technology piece as well. So many of the technology providers today are obviously very established. They've had a lot to contemplate over the last 12 months, particularly with legislative changes and obviously with the pandemic and the job retention schemes and that sort of thing, to have to sort of update their software to react to these external situations that have happened. And because there is still a lot of change going on in the payroll world, it's sort of squeezed out any time to actually innovate in this area. And that's where, as a startup, it's been able to, not have all of that legacy process control, technology, infrastructure to have to try and change, because changing stuff is really difficult. So being able to start with that blank sheet of paper has sort of enabled us to, leapfrog, much further forward to enable much more flexibility and drive this experience of being paid. Because just to reiterate a bit more on that point of the employee life cycle has had so much effort and put into it, particularly around the onboarding, recruitment, applicant tracking, learning and development. But the payroll piece has typically not been able to be touched because it's so mission critical and because it's so essential to get right, and there's so much compliance around it and so much accuracy that's needed. It's sort of been this area of the employee life cycle that nobody's wanted to go and touch. And if it's not broken, don't fix it. But my argument is that it is actually broken, and it should be on brand. It should be aligned with company values, and it should be a driver for. It should be a benefit to employees, the way in which they receive their money and how they can then manage their money.
So why do you think there is that shift now then, Simon? Why do you think the spotlight is very firmly on payroll? Why do you think it's kind of taken so long for that part of the kind of employee life cycle to be touched?
Well, I still don't think it is. The spotlight isn't necessarily on this part yet. I mean, it's definitely what PayCaptain's trying to do. I definitely think that there are more companies looking at trying to enable some flexibility with how employees are paid. So the concepts of on-demand pay or access to accrued earnings, these are some things that can support the financial well-being of the workforce and help reduce financial stress, etc. But also to help an employee get some more benefit of their relationship with their money and the relationship with their job. But I think the majority of organisations aren't yet thinking around this. For me, at the moment, it seems to be the companies that are really forward-thinking, the companies that are wanting to differentiate, that maybe they're already putting a lot of energy and time and thought into their employer brand, and it's those companies that are thinking around how can this part of the employee life cycle be improved. Okay,
and you mentioned financial well-being there. I know it's a crucial part of your thinking and of PayCaptain, and is very much kind of on trend at the moment, for want of a better term. What does financial wellness or well-being even, what does that mean to you in terms of the impact it has on people? What do you think that means?
Well, I think there's several things really. So one of the key drivers around whether somebody has financial wellness or feels good about their finances or doesn't feel stressed about their finances is, first of all, whether they understand their finances enough and whether they feel in control of their finances. And that's one of the key issues really, where the payroll process hasn't actually enabled people to understand what's happening perhaps with their pay, the way it's calculated, the way the deductions are managed, the way it's sent to them, and not having any control and not having any flexibility of how you manage your pay can also be a factor in how good you're feeling about your finances. But the first piece is actually around the education. So I wanted to make PayCaptain very clear, very easy to understand, what your pay elements are about, what and why taxes and national insurance and pension contributions are deducted, and then to make that all multi-language and all really accessible, so people can ask questions with straight to their payslip through our chatbots. So it's sort of reducing the barriers to learning and understanding about your pay, but then also to build in some more education in there about how to manage your finances, why you should have some savings tucked away, why you should be part of a pension scheme, how you could manage your weekly expenses versus your monthly expenses. There are so many things that aren't taught at school about how to manage money, and I felt having this type of education and these sorts of tools to help employees manage their finances, particularly managing their pay, as it being the sort of, for most people, it's the primary income stream is their main employment. So having all of that together so they can manage it all in one place, answer any questions all in that same place, and then put a financial plan together and have some flexibility as to how they save money, how they donate to good causes, how they can then track their expenditure versus their budget, etc. So I put all of that part of the app to help people manage their money better.
Yeah, I love what you mentioned there about the education piece and lack of information and education that's currently available in kind of school, secondary school, kind of children, maybe even up to kind of college, 18-year-old. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I have children at their kind of just kind of early teenage years, and it doesn't exist. And I think anything that helps towards that, just kind of planting that seed in the head so they understand a little bit more, even though they're 5 years maybe too early to be understanding what to be receiving their payslip. I think it's brilliant. And there are so many things I like about PayCaptain in terms of the interface, the friendliness of it. I think you've created something amazing. But one of the things I really like about it as an organization is the fact that you're a certified B Corporation. So for those of the viewers who, and I'm not too clear up on it myself, to be fair, but for those of us who don't know what that means, can you just kind of explain what that is, being certified B Corporation, and why you took that direction as an organization, please?
Well, the B Corporation is really, it's a movement. It started in the US, but is a growing organization in the UK as well. I think there's around 500 B Corps that have been accredited as a B Corporation in the UK. And we've went on that journey from the very beginning because it was always something that was particularly inspired me. It's a framework for running your business. It's a framework for being a good business. It's about making sure that you're doing right and doing good from all aspects of running a business, whether that's how you're looking after your employees, how you're looking after the environment, how you're looking after the community, and how you're being fair and responsible and being the best type of business you can be to benefit everybody, and not just focused on the shareholder or the investor. So I did it, as we're a pending B Corp, it's part of the certification stage for very, very early startup business. We'll have the full certification in a few months' time. And it was important to me because I want to build this business in the best way possible, and I knew it was a foundation that would keep me on track, keep me aligned with best practice, and make sure that I'm being a great contribution to society and to the wider community.
Yeah, I love that. I really do. I think it's easy to set up a business per se and to run it and to just focus all the time about the pounds and the pence. But I think, as business owners, we do have a responsibility. And so I admire that. I really do. And it also seems that PayCaptain has innovation at its heart. So what else can we expect to see from you guys as we progress into 2021 and beyond, Simon?
Well, we're definitely wanting to keep one step ahead, or two steps ahead, really. We're certainly continuing focusing on the employee experience, helping them managing their finances, helping them manage their accounts, their Visa debit cards that are part of the PayCaptain solution for people to separate some of their pay, either for current accounts or savings accounts. So we're enabling those to be much more on brand for specific employers, so that they can enable certain benefits for their employees as part of their wider benefits package. We're also integrating with quite a few other platforms, including some more chatbot related platforms, whether that's Facebook Workplace and Microsoft Teams, so people can interact with their pay slip and interact with their pay preferences through those types of channels as well. already integrated with WhatsApp and have a chatbot inside the app, but making pay again much easier to consume and to interact with and to understand. And integration is a major part of our sort of roadmap, enabling PayCaptain to be embedded in other solutions and enabling data to flow seamlessly into PayCaptain to really drive that whole seamless experience. And very lastly, we're built on the Salesforce platform, and we are using their Einstein AI artificial intelligence framework quite extensively now. So whether that's around predicting certain values inside the payroll process and being able to then cross-reference those back to actual values and alert payroll administrators when there's potential issues, but also using it for process evaluation and where payroll administrators should pay special attention during the payroll checking process, as well as the Einstein AI chatbots as well. So really leveraging, that AI framework that is that's sort of built into the PayCaptain solution is enabling us to do all sorts of things like in the future.
Wow, I mean, there's so much to look forward to from you guys. I'm really looking forward to following the journey and seeing what exciting innovations you have coming up as we progress. So we're going to move on to the quick fire round with some random questions just to get to know you a little bit better. I'm not sure if you answer these questions, that's a good thing necessarily, but we'll see how we get on. Okay, so what's your favorite non-work related app?
Non-work related app? Well, I guess Instagram really. So that's my sort of guilty pleasure really, of just going through there really.
Okay.
Although I hate it, it's the big favourite one. So.
Yeah, fair enough. What's the best thing about running your own business?
Well, just having the freedom, really. I mean, it's been a really interesting time starting a business during this pandemic. And it's been quite scary.
Your timing, I was going to say your timing is out there.
What we're doing, but then at the same time, it's I'm super excited about it, and I'm finding this sort of a bit of a roller coaster, but it's great, and I'm enjoying the freedom and having the complete control over where we go and what we do.
Fantastic. And the worst thing you think about running your own business then?
Well, I mean, it's scary. I mean, it's tough, and especially again, just doing this pandemic piece. The self-doubt and the that I haven't enjoyed that part at all, but then next day it's something really positive happens and you sign up a new customer, and it's great, and you get excited again. So I think I've learned now that that's probably what it is. It's it's highs and lows, and it's tough, but it's meant to be tough, and got to keep going.
Yeah, I was speaking to somebody not too long ago, and they're asking me about what they should expect from the first year or two of a business, and I just said the graph is like that.
Okay.
It really is. You have so many great, amazing highs, but at the same time, you have so many lows, and it's understanding those and dealing with those, kind of compartmentalizing them almost, just so you can kind of focus. Otherwise, you can't live like that. You can't grow. It is very difficult, but certainly it feels like that the first few years. Okay, what's your favorite film?
Favorite film? Well, I'm a big fan of the Star Wars films and the Alien films.
Yeah, love Star Wars.
And those are probably my top sets of films.
What did you think? This is just because I'm a Star Wars fan as well. What was your thought on episodes 7, 8, and 9?
Great. I love them. Like the whole anticipation of them coming out, and then going to see them at the IMAX in London. Yeah. Back in those days when we used to do things like that. But yeah, it was brilliant, and all the sort of run up, and now the spin-offs as well. So I loved the Mandalorian Disney, that's great.
Okay. A question very much related to today as I look out of the window here. But do you prefer snow or rain?
Well,
On either.
Sunshine, really. But I don't mind the snow. Yeah, it's snowing outside now, and went for the dog walks earlier, and that was quite nice. They were the early first people out there that was breaking the snow, so that was very nice.
Okay.
But hopefully,
brilliant. I think you may have answered by accident my final question there as well. So my final question was cats or dogs?
Oh, definitely dogs.
Definitely dogs. Yeah.
I've got two dogs, one called Heston, one called Wesley. Although I do want to get a cat as well called Colin. So I know what the name is. we haven't found him yet.
Okay, brilliant. Honestly, I've really enjoyed the recording today, and I've said this to you previously as well. I think you've created something amazing, and I wish you every success in the future, and the journey that PayCaptain are now on, but will continue to go on. So for anybody watching this, if you want to know more about PayCaptain, understand more about it, go to the website, follow these guys on social media, get in touch with Simon and the team, get a demo. I've had one and it looks fantastic. So do follow them. If you have any wider payroll related queries and you want to get in touch with phase 3, whether you're selecting a new system or you want to outsource it, again, get in touch with us. And thank you again, Simon, for your time. Really appreciate it. And see you all next time.